coming through there. Hold up. Oh, oh, did that work? I feel like that worked. I feel like something happened there. Let me double check over on the stream how that's looking. Sorry, everyone. Not used to streaming from the PC as much. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I hear myself. I hear myself, and that's a good thing. Whether or not I'm coming out super clear is a whole other question. But anyways, this was to just, so I think all that 3 minutes of audio was lost. But that was all just to say, to sum it up in a few sentences, I'm just showing you what I've done in Blender so far. I'm taking Steve Bijou from No Mask Sculpt to Blender. I do plan to rig him in here, as that's just where you do it, and it's going to be a horribly frustrating exercise, as I'm already starting to see. There's actually a rig kind of ready to go, as you can see right there. And I've this is a human meta rig, since it's kind of humanoid. I've even like made the ears extra large, and we'll see how well that works. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been really fun working with Steve here. Steve's been excellent, very well behaved. I love his eyes. What else can I tell you about Steve? Steve likes long walks along the beach. And, yeah, so that was all to say before I had my little technical difficulties with the sound, is that I really want to push the texturing more, and I felt this was the perfect case scenario for me to go into Substance Painter finally, because I haven't been able to play with Substance Painter since last year, and I bought myself the standalone package over Christmas break since it was on sale, and I thought this is the perfect piece to work on, and I don't think Steve would mind too much. So let me switch over to Substance. That way, hold up. Let me transition to that. There we go. Beautiful. I'm gonna throw my little window open. Oops. Bravo. Okay. So I also wanted to show you that, because the eyes I have to figure out, those are all like, that's all vertex painting, and I don't know how to get vertex painted textures over to Substance yet. I am totally new to it, so here we are. And but what I have learned today, I figured the best way for me to like reinforce learning is that just do it, just like do it with you all watching me. And hey Dennis, привет, how are you? I hope you're well, my friend. Yes, so I am going to finally get into this, and I figured the first fun thing to do would be to add stitches to his, that's my bloody pen, stitches to these parts right here, and this little Oshkosh pocket right here. Basically, I just want stitches. So let's go. So stitches, and also patterns, which are super fun, because I put Steve to a vote as to like what people wanted to see in regards to the actual pattern itself. So I thought, oh, okay, well let's play with that. And I really was very thankful for all the lovely. Sorry, I'm still learning how to pan here, which is hilarious. There we go. So you can just press F to focus. I literally have just picked it up in the first 3 tutorials on the Substance 3D. channel, so bear with me as I'm like struggling with shortcut keys. But as you can see already, what I've done is dirtied up the pants a bit. So let's go back to the Oshkosh. That's what the map looks like right now. That's what the map looks like. Um, I've purposely not put down the stitches yet because I just want you to see it in action. It's really great. This is the dirt layer. So if I took it off, you could tell it's way too clean. Steve is a tugboat captain. There's no way his little Oshkosh pants are going to be that tidy. So what we're going to do here is zoom in, zoom in. I have an orthographic view right now, so that way it'll be a little cleaner. And so there are two different layers here I've put on top. It is very Photoshoppy in terms of layers, so that part is very friendly. So there was the dirt. I won't run through that. I just love stitching. I was like, oh, this is so cool. So once I have that open, and where was it? Was it this? I think I already had it ready to go. Yeah, so I already have it ready to go as far as I can tell. Let me just double check here. Yes. So there are two different ways to do this. I could just go straight ahead and start laying down stitches like this. So the way you get to that even is, if I'm remembering correctly, this is an actual substance material that comes up when you literally put in stitch. So we're using one of the stitches right now, stitches straight. I have that connected, but you could easily do this and switch to a different mode. And I might use that for the laces on the shoes. Don't know for sure. In fact, let's experiment with a few of these. You could play with the well, that's interesting. It's faded. How about this one? Oh, that is cute as a button. Oh, in fact, that's exactly what I would have wanted for that. For that. Yeah, it's nice. I like that. And I made it blue to complement the blue on the sweater. Obviously, that can all be played with. But let me go back to the straight stitches. So what I want to do is, just to get sort of an accurate flow of the stitching itself, there is this lazy mode. I think it's called lazy mode. Lazy mode for the print. Oh no, that's pen pressure. That's not what I wanted. Sorry. This. See? Total noob. Let me just show you. Lazy mouse. My bad. So lazy mouse gives you this radius to play with. So that way, as you're moving, it'll follow it, but nice and slowly. So you get a more accurate. Whee! So there you go. Whoops. So as you get to the outside radius of that gray circle, you can see what's happening. And if you notice on the other side, it's actually doing symmetry. Because these two aren't lined up exactly the same, I probably shouldn't use that. So I'm going to start over, but there is, as you can see up here, a symmetry button. So I'm just going to go straight up here and do it the way I normally would do it. Whoops. Beautiful. Huh. Love it. And I'll probably do it here too. Let's focus this again. How's that for short key action right there? Okay, so there we go. So I gotta tell you, for that alone, it's like worth the price of admission for me to be able to do stitching that way. It's so fun. Because I was thinking about that the whole time. It's like, how do I do stitching without getting too lost? As you can tell, I've already done some work, obviously, with the sweater itself, and also stitching on the hat. But this makes me feel, or just general texture, this makes me feel I can really push it a lot more. And obviously, I get why people love, whoops, why people love substance painters so much. Having said that, I wouldn't say this is like the most easiest package to pick up. I mean, just in terms of like muscle memory retention, I don't know if I wasn't doing this every day, would it be that easy to sort of like keep going with it? Meaning, like 2 weeks from now, would I remember how to do the stitching? Maybe. Maybe. So you have to kind of get like used to how this is. By the way, I've done like zero retopo on this, so even with as much decimation as I did in Blender, it's a heavy file, and I only have myself to blame for that. But that's because I have such a resistance to doing retopology. I am loving the sweater, by the way. So I'm gonna play with the sweater as well if I have time today, because from the tutorials I figured out a much better way of doing. Sorry, apparently I can't talk and stitch at the same time. I wanted to. Wait, how do I do this? I want to be able to. How do I? Okay, I know how to do that. I know how to do that. I keep on finding myself switching back to the mouse. Let's at least join the hole there. Whoops. Cool. Do the same on the other side. That'd be fun to do it on the where it's pleating here, and then also maybe along the bottom here. I don't know. I might get carried away, to be honest, but already I love it. The dirtying up of the pants itself really works as well. But these textures, by the way, just come straight up with the program, which is awesome. I don't know with a standalone license whether or not that affords me access to other smart materials. I think this is a mixture of smart materials and just the general materials. But as you can see, super satisfying. In the tutorial that they're sort of their beginner tutorial on the substance tutorial page, they textured a whole roller skate, which is pretty awesome to watch. Why did I get lost in the mix? Oops, it's very. So even with the lazy mouse, it's not exactly smooth for me, at least. Okay. Let me not get too precious about that. Now, I'd imagine I can also just like as simply erase things as well. Not with that. Oh yeah, that worked. kind of work. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And I'm gonna make good on my promise to do the bottom here. I'm also trying to imagine how fun would this be able to do this in VR as well, you know? So I'll finish this one part here, but oh, that's not what I wanted. Interesting. How do you... Ah, there we go. Cool. I'll do the other side later. You can see it's a little off here. Let's continue on our merry way. I think I should dirty up this pocket a little bit. So again, so let's do three things. We're talking about patterns, stitching, and brushes today. So for example, I had this dirt layer for this, and I think I remember how I did that. We have to go to a different layer though. So that was a pocket square, and I think it is this. Pocket square, dirt, yeah, dirt. Dirt don't hurt. And for that, I can also pick a different. It's dirt 2. Actually, I'll do dirt 3 because I like the splashy quality of it. Yep. And so we're in here. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, cool. That one's, for lack of a better word, dirt simple. Oh, interesting. It's still using stitches. Let's take that out. Okay. Let's use the base color. I'm actually going to use the same yellow. Maybe a little dirtier. And then see how that comes out. Cool. Let's try a different dirt. How about this? Yeah, it feels a little better. So with that dirt layer selected, I can play with the roughness. I could play with how metallic it is. Although in this case, we don't really need to. And you know I'm going to put some stitching on that later, but not now. And then you can also, it has blend modes as well. So if I want to multiply, I think I chose a darken. Yeah, that's fine. Let's add a little bit more zhuzh to the corners there. So this is good for just general weathering, you know? It's really what I wanted to get across. He's been traveling a lot. Let's get back to perspective view. There we go. I would love to find a good fur substance material here, but jury's out on how that'll look. I probably will paint it. I don't know. God forbid. Is everything going on? I hear myself. I hear myself, and that's a good thing. Whether or not I'm coming out. Yeah, it's still coming through. Cool. Patterns. Okay, so the way that was done, let me turn down the music a little bit. Just okay. Way the patterns on the arms were done, which I will replicate for this sweater itself, was really interesting. So, right, this is like your essential layer there. I just put the fabric on top of it, which was very simple. It was where is it? Where is it? I think it was one of these. Yeah, it was a regular old fabric. Whoops, don't do that yet. Fabric that I literally just pulled on top, and then I changed the base color and had all sorts of fun from there. But what makes this interesting is that I can actually present a fill layer. It's a little bit complicated because like it's a fill layer on top of fill layers, and it's a way to basically, I'm going to just keep saying fill that specific mesh with a pattern without being able to paint on top of it. That is my understanding, and that's what I'm going to do again for the sweater. Now, you can see that I tried to do it just like DIY style, but I don't think that's truly the way to go. Let me go back to it. Where is it? I have a lot of layers, too many layers actually. So what I did is I actually painted them on as a mask. So I duplicated the fabric. It's a way to do it. There's nothing wrong with the way I did it, but the way that I'm going to do it now would offer a lot more control. So what we're going to do is, wish me luck, fill layer, right? But then that fill layer has itself a fill layer, right? Right? No, black mask. Then within the black mask, I do a fill layer. You see what I'm saying? It's not totally like, I don't totally have this down yet, as you can well see. So there's this grayscale thing, grayscale box just sitting and waiting for me. And I think it's in the stripes. I chose this one. I pull it in. So there you go. You have it in there. It's masking essentially within a black mask fill in another fill layer. So it's like three kind of layers of action happening there. Now, here's the most important thing, going from UV projection to planar projection. And that's how I'm getting that, which is great. Now you see this big old, like, I guess it's cut like a sphere of influence, a box of influence around it. This allows me to basically get all those stripes and be able to manipulate them as a planar projection, whether or not scale, rotation, blah, blah, blah. So let me see if I can remember how to do this. I think I did 90 degrees. Is that right? Whoops. Not 90210, 90 degrees. That's not exactly what I wanted. Oh, there we go. Is that it? 45 degrees? Oh, okay. I see why, because it's different from the arms. Let's see if we get this right. Oh, okay. That's what I did. Let's make them roughly the same size as the ones on the arms. Then obviously the rotation isn't quite correct. So maybe it's just 0. Yeah, 0. And then I can actually play with that But you know, once you got it down, as you can see, it works pretty darn well. And I want to make sure that the color is the right color. This base color is kind of an off gray. You want to make it fully white. And you can do things like, so let me just play with this a little bit here. You can do things like play with stripe numbers, which I did push up for the other one. Now, this I had to be a little bit more cognizant of, because like to the eye from far away, does it still read well enough? I think it does. I think it does. Ideally, I'd actually want the stripes a little bit larger, to be honest, which I can do here. Haha. 45. 45's good. And then let's pull that down a little bit so you can see through the little chain link there. And I want to do the same for the arms too, so let's do that. So, thank goodness I am not mucking things up too badly, because I really thought I was gonna forget all these little steps here. And remember, I literally just learned this with the last hour. So this is my way, my selfish way of reinforcing it while having you captive. Okay, so 0.45 for the sweater, and we want to make sure that's the same for the arms. I don't, you know, for you substance painter folks, I don't know how you pull this off on the daily. And then there are all the other substance like products that we haven't even talked about, like Stager and Designer, and I'm just going to focus on the one. And of course, once you got everything ready, you know, let's just like extrapolate, move forward in time, that I'm happy with the face and everything, the fur here and eyelids and paws and the whole bit. That's when I have to export stuff. I have to start exporting textures to get him physically ready for a rig, whether or not it will go towards VR chat, Blender. So that's its own thing, but that seems pretty easy to do from the export functions that they have, the native export functions. But I think I have done my piece for today, and there you have it. We have, once again, stitching. We have dirty pocket square with lots of holes in it. We have stripes. So many stripes. Which is really what I wanted out of all this, was stripes. That's how that all began. I was like, I wonder if I could pull off stripes with this. And I want to do something with the hat. So if you have any suggestions about the hat, how to push that a little further, I feel like it's nice, but it lacks actually the wooliness of the sweater. So I might actually replicate that here, but in red, and then maybe zhuzh it up with a really light pattern. Don't know. We'll see. Speaking of patterns, before I go, like, it's super fun to even just play with patterns. For instance, if I just like pull that in, look how easy that was. Like, it just becomes hipster Steve. Yeah, so very easy. Very easy. It looks like he's skiing. All right, everyone, thank you so much. I don't know why I looked like I was praying, but enjoy your evenings. I appreciate y'all watching, if you are watching, and I bid you adieu for now. And hopefully next time you see Steve, he doesn't look like a resurrected zombie, but a very kind tugboat captain who will transport you to different realms. All right, take care, my friends. Night.